Season's greetings and welcome to Two Balls and a Mic, episode 192 here from the Two Balls and a Mic studio, brought to you in part by San Diego Football. Everything San Diego soccer covered here through this media outlet, San Diego Football. We're going to go ahead and talk about the MLS San Diego FC. Whatever their team name is going to go ahead and have their October 20th press color name reveal shebang and bang. However, they also had some news drops. Saquon has laid out the foundation of what they will have as the Right to Dream Academy. And we talked to Tom Penn about that, CEO of the MLS. We'll take you into some of those conversations and what that was like. We're also going to go ahead and talk about San Diego clinching both NWSL, USL Championship playoff berths, Wave in first place beating Portland and an away match, and San Diego Loyal in the penultimate home match in the regular season of their history, winning over Monterey Bay. Hat trick by Ronaldo Damas, second hat trick first hat trick since Rubio Rubin's only hat trick before, and all that good stuff. Am I missing anything? Watching part by whatever. Season's greetings.
Jeremy already saying season's greetings.
Did he really?
Season's eatings.
This podcast is the best. Season's eatings.
Season's eatings. It's almost season's eatings.
I hope people are eating and just having a good time and listen to the number one soccer outlet in San Diego.
Oh wow, mercy! Right here at the Escondido Hospital, chilling with my newborn and wifey, listening to y'all. Let's go! Wow.
I don't know how I feel about that. I feel great. It's great. I don't know what this is. These butterflies I haven't felt since last Wednesday when I went to witness the soccer-specific stadium of Snapdragon Stadium become a venue for
a concert.
Honestly, the best concert I've ever been to.
Wow, that's so cool.
Coldplay, night one, was stellar.
Did you enjoy a lot their halftime show when they did it for the Super Bowl?
No.
Okay.
No. Halftime shows are not good since Prince. Okay. Prince had the last good one. He did a cover of The Best of You, Purple Rain, as it rained. What? People hate on The Who. I also do, because that was terrible. They could have done so much better. Bruce Springsteen actually had a really good halftime show.
I like Bruno Mars' halftime show.
Lady Gaga was actually low-key. Anyway, so
Usher with the upcoming halftime show.
Is that who it is?
Yeah, it's Usher.
Metallica needs to do it. Foo Fighters need to do it. Will halftime shows be an important component of MLS in San Diego? We'll see, but an important component for MLS in San Diego will be the upcoming news that dropped here on Sunday. We did talk to Tom Penn a little bit about it. I
wish he would have broken the news with us.
He kind of did, but he mentioned that there's news going to be broken.
Literally like 2 days after this is announced.
Yeah, so San Diego MLS, San Diego FC announces location of the state-of-the-art training facility and Right to Dream Academy located in El Cajon on Saquon tribal land, 125,000 square foot campus, 5 soccer fields. The groundbreaking ceremony is scheduled for later this year in November per SDFC. And people who are not involved in soccer were not happy about this because it's going to be taking away some space. Hey. Oops.
Breaking.
That happens.
Yeah, so people are not happy, right? And you were saying?
Yeah, so people weren't happy about it, but ultimately there's chatter happening. It's something that's different, something solid. We did put Tom Penn's just clip there of him alluding to that a little bit.
Performance Center and our Youth Academy, our Right to Dream Academy. I mean, that's huge. Hard to find. HTF, right?
HTF.
Hard to find. And we found it. And so you'll see news this weekend that's going to break, and we're going to tell the story of where we're going to be and what we're going to be doing. And then we'll have our dedication, and that is a huge flag in the ground and a huge moment that makes it more real, plus the announcement of our crest. The next is...
And a flag on the ground it is, right? It's a $150 million practice facility and headquarters. Like I said, it's going to be on tribal lands, and that you kind of assume something would be built on tribal lands, knowing that Saquon is part of the ownership group.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, if we really want to turn into a, let me put my San Diego hard hat on. I don't know who else in the city has one of these.
Okay.
A little hard hat. But look, it's a little,
Oh, but it's soft.
yeah, it's a stress ball because, the city of San Diego gives us all a lot of stress
Yeah, it
at
does.
times. So if we put our little engineer hat on, it makes sense. Why?
It does.
Because you get to do whatever you want. There's no red tape. It's just, this is what we do. This is what we do here. No outside of anybody's jurisdiction other than tribal law.
And I believe there's a golf course nearby that's gonna get.
Yeah, so it's gonna get affected, and that's what people weren't
Sorry.
happy about. But ultimately, this is where it's gonna be the campus, the performance center. It sounds like, so like Polo Grounds are for Wave, Olympic Training Centers for Loyal, Sequan Land over in El Cajon, technically, is where this is gonna be. So exciting news for the development of whatever this academy right to dream play system is going to be.
And we've asked for this. People have asked for it. I mean, how many times have you told me, "Wow, I wish there was something like this in freaking San Diego or in South Bay?" Like just a huge piece of land that's going to be utilized for soccer specific needs.
Yeah, but yes, but at the same time, it's like, well, it's not like it's going to be for the community. It's not like you and I or anybody. I don't play. I do not do that. If you weren't here
Who
last
knows
week,
if this is a start? This is a start. This is a
Sure.
team that's going
Yeah,
to stay for years, and they're able to
they
build
need
this.
it. They need it.
Who says they can't build other stuff in the future?
I mean, but that's.
I mean,
that's
it
a
was
different
already
side of the
said
house,
it's
though.
not going to be a stadium. That was already addressed in the interview that you should definitely check out, and we're going to dive into. There's not going to be a future stadium for this MLS team. It's going to be Snapdragon, their home, but they have these training facilities now on the works. Who is there to say that they're not going to build something for the community in the future? Like, you can.
Yeah, but again, that's almost like the other side of the house. Like that's another set of people that are going to be in charge of that, right? Like it's a different arm of it. It's more on philanthropic adventures when it comes to the community, right? Because again, sure they can build 10 of these across San Diego, but guess what? Only STFC academy players. I guess if your team is playing the MLS Academy, Right to Dream Academy, sure, but it's a good first step. Just kind of seeing something that's other than, hey, this is what's happening here, without having a name, crest, and colors out. So everything's gonna go ahead and be for the big day, October 20th. There's already contingencies on how to get yourself a ticket on there. So check out SDFC, San Diego FC, on their social medias and just how to go ahead and do that. But no, just talking about with Tom in that interview, right? That was the makeup for what we had planned the day of the Carlsbad event.
Yes.
So it was rain checked. We still got involved, still asked questions to Tom that we had come up with unaltered. That's why we want to make sure we'll be transparent about it. Like if there's independence, there's independence. If there's not, there's not. There's just no two ways about it. It's black and white.
I mean, definitely check out the interview for sure, as we did talk about other things like the style of what this team could be playing. And I mean, I know you have it pulled up here.
Yeah, so
like,
FC Northland, if you want to go ahead and get into it, and we will. Like that's the part of this process is it's going to be learning. Look, completely honestly, we have been growing up watching not the MLS.
yeah.
If I was to tell you I'm an expert in the sport, sure, because I've played it to an interesting level. But it's
we
it's a
experts in
deeper
MLS?
No, and that's what's going to have to happen.
And that's the exciting
it's a
journey,
fun
right?
part of
We
it.
dove into the USL with Loyal, not knowing anything, any teams, any players.
Wave, same thing.
Wave, same thing. And
we're
we're
familiar
learning.
with the national team, but again, I couldn't tell you the intricacies and the nuances of Alex Morgan's game because even if you pay attention to what they do through the TV, if you watch it live, you understand like, that's cool. Like that's what makes you elite. That's what makes a player Kaylin Sheridan and her footwork.
And we're learning about
just-
other teams in the NWSL as we're going with this now. It's the second season that they have, and it took us
And guess
2-3 seasons with the USL to really learn a lot of the other players and
people
stuff.
are more familiar when we're more familiar than we give ourselves credit because there's these tournaments now. Like, I mean, I think of a certain play style of early MLS, right? Like I growing up with Eurosport magazines, like they still got their due diligence, did your research. Um, Back when again, Landon Donovan being with the Galaxy, with DeMarcus Beasley and the Houston Dynamo with those epic matches against Pachuca and all of that, all of those tournaments that intermingled these players. You played against a lot of the domestic players that played in the MLS through the U.S. that played against Mexico because they didn't have so many players abroad, right? Like it just wasn't a thing. It wasn't
Yeah.
the infrastructure. The MLS is growing now to a degree where it has to keep up with the rest of the world if it wants to make an impact, if they want to make the dollars, even like if they want to share the pie, which I mean that's kind of where world football is. It's just where just follow the money. And again, that's not a commentary on anything else other than the sport itself. But it's going to be an interesting development in how, and Tom explained it, how this team is going to play. They have their goals. They have their short-term goals. They have long-term goals. Short-term, they hope, they want, they need to be competitive, and that's the direction that they seem to be wanting to go. So if that's the case, then what is that going to look like? Again, to quote Tom, he was saying there's going to have to be a good mix of veterans and academy players, right? Like they have to find that medium of not just having any veterans, but you need the veterans that are able to keep up with this style of play.
Yeah.
That are needing to become the engines that, if you have a lot of inexperience in the defense, right? Unless you're dealing with literal phenoms, there's still a giant gap that has to be put together. And usually what happens is you need that veteran player next to that young player to kind of do the patchwork for that, right? Athletically, the younger kid usually goes up and patches the physical lack of some of the veteran players. But what did you think about, first of all, talking with Mr. Penn, the vision as far as on the field, as we got a little bit more clarity on that, and just the overall perspective that you have now of what the rollout will be?
I think it's exciting. I think it's definitely something that you talk to people that are very in roots with San Diego Loyal, right? Where at the end of the day, a lot of these people wanted an MLS team at first, and they got loyal and they were super happy. But now with this interview and talking to Tom Penn and him explaining all these things, it kind of gives you the idea, okay, they're here to stay.
Yeah.
They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It's gonna be 6, 7, 8 years, and they're still going to be here. So it's just a matter of, okay, looking at who they've been hiring, right? We just saw that DK announced that he's gonna be working for the team, and that's the local people that you want to see with Ricardo, DK, Jerry. It's people that are already here, know the community, that can make an impact and influence in the decisions that they want to make.
134, I believe, was the number, or
Of
around
staff
there of staff
yeah.
that ideally, and again, that's the scope of what we're talking about, right? If we're talking San Diego Loyal, I don't want to, put a number on it, but it was not 130
No, it's
something. Like it's
yeah.
not in that
it's
stratosphere.
It's lower than that.
It's its own thing.
And San Diego Loyal had, from what we know, had a huge number of staff compared to other USL teams in the league. So, and that just shows the amount of like opportunity that there is here when it comes to soccer.
Yeah, it's
in San
Craig
Diego.
Elston running the San Diego Soccers for most of the time. Like it's, obviously other people
Staffing,
involved,
one.
100%. But it's the scope again of what this is going to be, who this is, and we spoke to him a bit about Ricardo Campos and also him giving insight into the other important players that are going to be in there. I'm really interested to see again. People that I know, congratulations, love you to death. But the San Diegans from San Diego, like there's a couple, but like I want to see that more. I think that representation is something that is needed.
Like you want to see that like in staff.
In staff, yeah, and that's something that's incredibly important because I would hope that San Diego has the talent. San Diegans have the talent to do it. And if not, there's going to be a line of people coming in and doing it anyways.
So apply when you see the chance.
Yeah, go
Apply
for it.
because we've heard before. Well, people are not applying for this type of jobs.
I mean, it's a great opportunity because again, it's a major league operation, and the planning of that just the planning that it takes for this it's immense, and it's a huge undertaking. And honestly, I'm glad I don't have to deal with any of that.
Yeah.
Sure, let's go
but
ahead and build, but
it's
at the same
exciting.
time, yeah.
It's super exciting just knowing, okay, there's going to be a training facility. It's the
I just want to
top-
cover the team already.
Yeah,
I
of
just
course.
want to
Of course,
cover this
don't
team
get me
already.
wrong, like,
this isn't the coverage that isn't necessary. Like again, we can turn into NPR and start like, oh, today on San Diego Soccer News, we have the sounds of the game. We have the guest, the assistant water engineer for San Diego FC, Kyle Dunnigan. Thank you, Kyle. And that's not, and just a bunch of bleh.
we want to talk soccer already. We want to talk the game.
That's the specialty. That's what people want. From here on out, and it was very interesting. That's why I posed the question to Tom. What are the challenges, right? And a lot of those are unknown because you don't have a brand to anchor yourself in. So the challenges will come in as they come in. It's going to be interesting to see how they keep maneuvering through this. And again, once San Diego Loyal ends, you're really
Stuck with Wave and
not stuck, but like you're the only show in town. And that was interesting too, because they were talking about what the pecking order is. Wasn't shy about it.
no
SDFC paid to be in the
top
position
honcho.
that they want to. And you know what? There's SDSU football,
Which
or
only
just
have 8 games.
SDSU,
At 7-8 games.
7-8 games that hopefully won't tear up that field. MLS, San Diego FC, Wave. So we've talked to San Diego Wave. We've talked to Casey Stoney, head coach of San Diego Wave. We've talked to people within the organization, and they've, since the announcement of MLS coming in, they knew that this was going to happen. They don't want to play second fiddle and just kind of be forgotten, because again, they've also been integral in making sure that this project is going to be able to take off. But the reality is again,
Yeah.
you can't play
the
soccer
best-
weekends.
And the best thing that Wave can do is just win a championship this season and kind of cement themselves in as champions already. We're the team that brought this city a professional sports championship first, besides the soccer's, obviously. But it'll be very interesting to see how it all plays out. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see where, if anything lines up. Saturday, a game for San Diego FC. Sunday, a game for Wave. It could happen. Very much can happen. So
I don't know how to get you a job, Edwin, with MLS, on the academy side. Make yourself undeniable. There you go.
they're asking Legion. Legion's
Oof. Oof.
SDSU
Big
soccer's
oof.
probably above them, honestly.
Yeah, no, our charity match is probably above. No, absolutely not. No, Legion is, they're part of it, right? And so if there's only so many dates on the calendar, if it ends up being that something kind of gets trumped out, then unfortunately that's probably where they're going to start, is the Legion. And concerts make too much money. SDSU gets first dibs, right? Even though they're struggling with their football ticket sales, and that was always going to be the reality of it.
So Snapdragon is a soccer-specific stadium, and you saw it in concert.
Look, if at work, if you give me an answer, I'm okay with it. If you tell me like, hey, if I ask you like, oh, what am I supposed to do with this, like this, or what's going to happen here? Oh, well, let me find out. Come back with an answer. Okay, you give me an answer. I don't care what it is, but you actually tried. The answer here might not be what people wanted to hear as far as like how it's a soccer specific stadium. The logic and the math checks out. If this, then that. if this is this, then it's that. We have 100% vetted, checked out, checking the cash. It safe standing room. Great. That is a fact. That is a fact. Is that what makes it a soccer specific stadium? What makes any soccer specific stadium a stadium? There is, I mean, yes, I realize I know what a soccer specific stadium is.
I was
1,000%. But again, where's that line, right? And if I was to, design a stadium or put somebody to the task of designing a soccer specific stadium, would I get that? Would I get Snapdragon Stadium? Maybe you have a soccer specific stadium designed again by the same architect over in LAFC, and
they did Austin.
and BMO gets and they did Austin too. And those two stadiums, they get people in there. They get people to sell out that stadium, sell out that, and it's a soccer specific venue. What I think people are kind of challenged with is everything else that's happening that's not soccer specific. Sure, the Foo Fighters are coming over August 8th to Petco Park. Does that not make Petco Park a baseball specific stadium? No, there's Monster Jam there. Okay, it's fine. Like, it's going to be something that people are going to have to get used to. I don't know how they're going to go ahead and get rid of those lines. I joked a little bit about it, having Ricardo go and paint them again, as he did at USD. Like, he's done that before. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what sold him on jumping over.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting because at the end of the day, I think nobody wants to see football lines when it comes to at least the first game of the season for this MLS team. So, like Nick Duffy's saying, soccer-specific stadiums don't have football lines all over the field. It's soccer-friendly, and that's one way of looking at it, right? At the end of the day, there's college football stadiums or college stadiums that have 90,000 seats. And they're just for football. And is a 35,000 seat stadium. The environment's the idea behind it is that you're able to fill up 30,000 seats, 25,000, and it's gonna look full.
Yeah.
You build a 60,000 seat stadium here in San Diego, doesn't matter what sport you have here, it's not gonna get full, and it's not gonna be a good look. So it's what's here, like you said, Tony. People are gonna have to get used to it, and yeah, like, I mean, it's set in stone. There's not going to be a new stadium being built.
Yeah, I mean, that's at this point, that's not something that they're going to go ahead and be looking for. Not to spoil everything.
But I am glad they're building a training facility.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be in East County, and there's complaints of how hot it's going to be out there. Yes, it will be. There's teams playing in Texas. There's teams playing in swamp humidity in the South. Like, it's part of it. And I mean, across the world, right? Like, some of these Right to Dream academies, some of these players who are going to be transplanted from countries like Ghana or from Egypt. I mean, even Denmark, Dinamarca, right? Like, that's another level of extreme weather. To San Diego, a fair weather place, which it is what it is. Mediterranean climate. Like, there's going to be some adjustments needed. And it's a good first step into what's going to be being rolled out into 2025. So, anything else from Tom Penn without, again, spoiling too much? The interview's there. It's a quick little thing. Thank you for Tom for taking the time and welcoming us into the casita. It's a nice office that they had working out.
It was very cool just getting there and just trying to, like, play the guessing game. It's like, oh, what car are people going to drive? Like, we're in an area that I don't normally go to, but again, we appreciate the invitation into the casita, just the time that Tom gave us. He's a busy man.
And that's it. And that's what we're going to do, right? Like, this is the foundation, the beginnings of what this is. And I think we really kind of fleshed out a little bit into who Tom is, what they're doing, who is involved in it. And it's a good first step into just that setting of communications. And if people really resonate with that, if they like, I've been hearing positive things with that type of interview, with that type of content. Like, again, let people know that you really enjoyed it, because we really would appreciate that, and just engage with the content itself, because that's what it's for, right? Like, if we're moving into this space, San Diego Punto Football is going to be fantastic. It's part of that coverage aspect that is really needed for the sport, that we feel a higher calling for, then go ahead and give us that help out. Like, just share it, engage with it, disagree, agree. I was fighting. My voice was not okay.
Yeah,
Like, I was
man, you've
playing
been
through
going
injury.
it.
It was, hey, we got through it.
A
And
podcaster injury. It's losing
yeah,
their
no,
voice.
I was on the IR. I should not have been admitted. Everything was safe. Everything was safe. I had been sick 2 weeks before and lost the voice and never gained it back. I still haven't really gained it completely back, but it's a-okay. But San Diego FC, go ahead and just anything else that breaks, we'll go ahead and roll it out and be able to discuss it. And again, that's part of the give and take, right? Like, they're giving you the opportunity to do this, so to communicate with the team and be vocal. Just because they're rolling out with what the crest name and colors are going to be doesn't mean that they're probably going to stop holding events to be able to voice your opinion. So I'd encourage anybody to go ahead and try to do that, even if they don't have any sort of events or stuff. And things are happening too outside the field. Chavos Ultras are starting. Frontera Ultras.
They're having pretty much their first.
They're coming up. You have the Riptides. You have.
So check it out.
Individuals.
We're gonna be having another episode with Chelas con Chavos. Tomorrow, probably dropping on Wednesday or tomorrow night, and that's gonna have all the information for that. So it's exciting stuff happening. Yeah, is there anything else you want to touch base on?
No, just kind of like looking over this. Jeremy saying most of the newly built soccer-specific stadiums have canopies and the team crest and name all over the stadium. Again, what are the circumstances of who built the stadium? I wish they look into count the acoustics. It was all right. Coldplay was all right, like acoustically, like because they bring their own equipment. So it was fine. It was fine. MLS season starts at the end of February, March, so no football lines until September, which is arguably when things start getting spicy and interesting, which is, as we've seen, that's usually when, playoff talks start, and if they're trying to be competitive.
That's when you need the field to be at its best.
Yeah.
And is when it's going to be probably not at its best. So a year and a half, a year and change
You know what?
figure all this stuff out.
Grass technology has, and I actually looked into it a little too much because of the grass and the sod at the last Super Bowl, because it's the same guy that does the Super Bowl grass every single year. And I guess he messed with the formula, and that's why everybody was slipping. That's why the Eagles lost in the Super Bowl because of the grass. And trust me, I looked into it.
Yeah.
Everybody was slipping. They were switching cleats out. Like, it's a legitimate thing. You see,
about that, man.
the Arizona Cardinals, they have that retractable field that, they do.
The Raiders do
They
too.
do now in Europe. They're doing the Tottenham Stadium. I think the Bernabeu 3.0 does that. So
Drop a little bit more money on a field that you can pull out and.
I don't think so, because they're asking for canopy. If you can have a retractable field or canopies, I think people would say canopies more. So, but that's already been stated in public. Cody Martinez, Saquon, quote, not going to happen.
Yeah,
End
so-
quote. That's not their actual quote.
That's pretty much what we have for you guys for MLS. Any other news and updates? Well, we make sure to bring you guys the news, and we're gonna go ahead and transition over. Tony, reading some comments.
Yeah, I mean, knowing that there was going to be Academy and Travel Land, I didn't know back then. There's a lot of this addition
I
that
think
is
people
happening.
think you know everything.
Maybe. And sometimes, again, you got to keep you guessing. But sometimes with these things, it's oh my gosh. You know what?
Just tell me this: would either of you guys tell someone that we have a soccer-specific stadium? Plead the fifth.
Occam's right. I'm sorry. I was before you really interrupted me. You know what Occam's razor is?
I don't know.
So it's essentially, I spelled it wrong. Essentially, if you have two competing ideas that explain the same thing, it's usually the one that's simpler. So it's not that I know, there's going to be tribal land being used for this, but back then, Saquon, it just makes too much sense because they are able to do that. If they're putting that investment in, then damn, I hope. And look, little thing that we didn't really talk about, right? Like, Tom started talking about the next step, partnerships. He started talking about the pillars. Like, these are things that get rolled out and they're very important that we can get to and just start fleshing out a little bit more as they roll out the brand itself. But team sponsorships, like, yeah, color, whatever you want, but like, that's an important aspect of this. Who's going to pay for this San Diego team? Is it going to be a local brand? Is it going to be somebody who we've seen before? Is it going to be a Rocket League again? Are they going to get back in the mix, right? Like, they have the funds, but to be in the front, you know, maybe they don't do that again. Or Sprouts, a wild animal park. Like, it'll be very interesting to see what that rollout is, because that's part of really connecting with the community. And sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just literally a paycheck. And maybe they'll just have right to dream. And, you know, that's
They have
Chelsea,
a year to figure it out.
The greatest team in the world.
¿Todavía no tienen?
No, we just got one. It's actually pretty cool.
Okay.
Chelsea.
We just got.
Sorry, I retired. I'm
So,
no longer involved in Chelsea.
To answer
trade
Jeremy's
talks are-
question.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
If you guys would tell someone that we have. Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Would you tell someone that San Diego has a soccer-specific stadium? There's no right or wrong answer.
I wouldn't
here.
tell them there's not a soccer-specific stadium. Again, look.
I would say there's a
sometimes-
stadium that
sometimes-
professional soccer is played on.
I mean, but then you're counting USD as a soccer-specific stadium. So it's this cool little spectrum, right? Like, is it a soccer-specific stadium? Are you always hungry? No, but you're never not hungry. You're just in
Not
between.
starving, yeah.
Yeah, you're just in between, right? Check with me at like 3 p.m. I'm probably a little bit more hungry than I was. Check with me on a Saturday at 7 p.m. I'll probably be more soccery, and it'll be a soccer-specific stadium. Like, what do you want it to be? It was a concert-specific
with this
stadium.
shit, dude?
It was a
What the
concert-specific stadium on Wednesday. On Sunday, Guns N' Roses was here. It was a it was a lacrosse-specific stadium
you
for a
sack of
world
shit.
championship.
Look at this guy.
It's going to be
You guys hear this shit?
a WrestleMania future SummerSlam venue, wrestling-specific venue. Like, it's get me at any specific time of day.
Wait.
What?
I'm still so shook at this comparison. You know, if you're hungry, 3 p.m., I'm probably going to be a little more hungry. Saturday at 10 p.m. What? It makes
Yeah.
so much sense.
Yeah, I'm a little hungry in the morning, and you know, you're still gonna have something going on. Still breakfast.
Oh.
It's a breakfast-specific time. It's a breakfast-specific hunger.
I'm sorry, the specific means something that I don't think it means. Specific means...
I mean, yes to all of it. And this isn't an apology tour for what's going to end up happening. The reality is, like, it's
It's what it is.
it's a multi-purpose stadium
And that's how it was built.
that can be considered soccer specific.
At the end of the day,
times.
does it matter if it's a soccer-specific
That's where they're
stadium?
playing. At this point, that's where they're playing.
Does
And
it matter? I'm asking fans in general. Does that really play a role? I mean, it's the topic of that we have right now to talk about. But when the season starts, the team rolls out, the players are announced, all this stuff, is it going to matter if it's a soccer-specific stadium or not? Like,
I mean, is it?
Is it?
Because that's what it is. And the time for speculation and hopes and for this and for that is pretty much over. Like, it's take the reins.
It's gonna come to a point where people are just gonna have to move on from this. It's not a soccer-specific stadium.
and
Like,
if you don't,
that's okay
fine.
too, but
that's fine. That's fine. But you're still going to be attending Snapdragon if you go watch these games. But
and if you don't, cool.
that's an individual.
Cool. If you don't go,
That's
that's
an
cool.
individual to an individual. I don't think it's a soccer-specific press box. I think it's a soccer-specific press box would be right smack in the middle.
But they do that.
I know.
everywhere now,
I know.
They're not gonna put the media in the middle. No vamos a tener el palco de lujo, güey. Come on,
Hey,
you get the
Cholos does
corner.
it. Look, a soccer-specific stadium in TJ does
Cholos does that. Cholos does do that actually.
it. Just saying.
I'm telling you, like it's the corner everywhere I've been here. It's BMO is in the corner. LA Galaxy, what's their stadium called? LA Galaxy Stadium, whatever they're called. It's in the corner. SoFi is in the corner. Wow.
Let's put you in the corner. But yeah, so we can keep this going, like, and it's going to be an ongoing discussion. It's going to be part of it until the ball rolls, because they're not playing just yet. And a lot of hard work going in the background. Season's salutations to everybody in the MLS office. Hello. But all right, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. If you guys want to keep going in the comments with that is a-okay. We'll still go ahead and acknowledge that. But there was soccer specific happenings.
That's not a
Soccer
Snapdragon.
specific results that impact
All
San
right,
Diego teams.
let's talk actual soccer in games, right? We had San Diego Wave probably playing the biggest game of their season.
Mm-hmm.
It was against Portland Thorns, a team that is just known to have an upper hand in a lot of the teams in the league, including San Diego Wave. We were at the Loyal match, enjoying a nice game, a nice 4-1 win that we'll get to talk about. And we just kind of kept checking back, watching on Paramount Plus, checking what the score was. Halftime, it was 2-0. We're like, okay, Wave really's going to do this. So let's talk about this game. We had a starting lineup for San Diego Wave that is kind of like what you expect, right?
Yeah, so San Diego Wave, who play at a soccer-specific stadium in Snapdragon. I love this. Like, it's gonna keep coming back, and it's fine.
Their own
Like,
little game.
If there's one thing that is very important in San Diego, it is stadiums and the dimensions and the capacities. And you know what? Just build something in the Sequoia land. Build a stadium in Tribal Land. Why not? Like, phew, can you imagine just live gambling? I mean, it would be banned. I don't know how that would work. Anywho, San Diego Wave, who have one of the most important games up to now in the season, they've been through it. They've been first, they've been second, they've been in the middle, they've careened in the bottom at times, playing not so well during the World Cup areas
just
and times.
a month ago, San Diego Wave were on the borderline of not making playoffs, and now they're sitting top of the table with this win. So the starting lineup, it finally looked like a lineup that you can see and say, this is a championship squad. You had Kalen Sheridan on goal, Pogue on the left back position, and you still have injuries, by the way. You have Pogue on the left back, Abby Dalkemper back in the starting position, who was playing phenomenal before she had a little step back in her interview. Naomi Girma back in the center back position as well, returning from national team duties. That dynamic duo is back in the starting lineup, and people love to see it, right? You have Westphal in the right back position, where I think the player with probably one of the most minutes in the team.
Yeah, underrated player, absolutely.
You have Van Egmond, the pillar of that midfield. Whenever Van Egmond is not on that field, people always say, well, what went wrong? I'll tell you what went wrong. Van Egmond wasn't on the field. She just holds it down, right, and supports the back line in such a crucial way that I would love to say, and I'll probably say right now, that she's probably the best defensive midfielder in the league.
Yeah, I mean, she got her team. She was very integral in getting Australia to how far they got into the World Cup. So Wave definitely missed her. But it was a Portland team. It's a hostile crowd. You can see it, one of the best attended teams in the NWSL because they're so good. They are incredibly good. Up top, the talent in this team is phenomenal. And for Wave to be able to go in there and go two por two against Portland, who honestly, like, going into it, if you were to tell me who the favorite was, I don't think I would have chosen San Diego at all whatsoever.
Probably not, right? I mean, I think we're starting to see a turning point for Jen Shaw. We've already witnessed greatness from her at such a young age. And it's this vision that's going to make her elite. It's this passing that she has to be able to find the open player, the open space, and put the perfect ball. Like, this cross right here is just world class as well.
Yeah, so it all starts obviously by recuperating the ball in the last third. Very well done there, putting the pressure on. And usually that's what happens against Wave. They lose the ball in important places, and bing, bang, bang, it goes inside for a goal.
And also Kyra Carusa just very much aware of that the center backs are kind of like following Morgan, following their players in, and she stays back. She kind of holds it, and Jaden Shaw just finds that space and says, "Okay, I know this is going here. Perfect first touch shot, and it's a goal." Goalkeeper just stayed standing. There's nothing the goalkeeper would have been able to do there.
Yeah, so
Pero que se avienta al menos, ¿no? Para la foto.
make it look good, make it look nicer by diving. But again, it was a really good Portland theme, and talk about world class, Kaylin Sheridan. Like, again, we've been mentioning her throughout, and seeing her play in real life is one of those things where you can watch it through the TV. If you watch the training, if you watch her play live, you really, again, get the nuance of what makes her elite. And this is going to be super trivial. This is going to be absolutely stupid. But it's an absolute travesty that she's rated 85 on FIFA. It's so dumb. Like, it's so dumb. People say it all the time, right? Like, oh, so-and-so and so-and-so. I don't really play FIFA that much, but, like, for the person who just kind of identifies with that, like, if I was to give her a rating, it would be in the 90s. Absolutely. And any given day is her day on and off the ball, because again, she's good with her feet. So San Diego Wave kept pressing. They were doing really good. He got a great shot here, close to the 28th minute by Calaprico.
And the fact that they look this dominant against Portland just shows, right? I mean, you also have McNabb out still. You have other players that are still not fully fit. Amir Ali has never really gotten 100% since last season. You lose the possession battle, but you have the same amount of shots on target. Pretty much the same amount of shots. And then you have Alex Morgan getting back on the scoring sheet, which she just so desperately needed, Tony. We've talked about it before. People have mentioned it, that Alex Morgan has not been the same as last season. And has not, since the World Cup too, she hasn't been really the same player. I think she's at a point in her career where she needs to find a different role. She's not going to be the top goal scorer now. She just needs to find where she's going to be able to support the team and what her best attributes are going to be moving forward.
Yeah, she's a really great player to this day, but the truly great players are able to adapt and move into a new space where they'll contribute a little bit more.
Sorry.
Jesus.
I'm just curious. The goalkeeper just kind of like broke her own ankles in this header. It was a weird header that you don't really expect.
Yeah,
but
because it's a long ball over here by Van Egmond,
but it's like, I think the goalkeeper Bixby just kind of took a step early, and they didn't think the header would go in that direction. If you see it, it's kind of like, walk me as a former goalkeeper, Tony.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't even think Bixby's in the right spot where she needs to be in this position. Like, she's already top of the small box. A nice header over her would have easily been also like been able to happen. But kind of, I want you to break this down from goalkeeper for Portland, Bixby. Like, where did she go wrong?
No, so it's one of those things where they'll tell you in every training that you do a drill like this or just play. You come out. It's either you come out all the way or you stay put and do not move your feet, because you're going to react to whatever's going to happen, right? And so here you see that cross. It's a long cross. You don't expect that cross to be so direct on that diagonal. So she kind of comes out, and then she's caught in no person's land and just kind of has to pitter-patter all the way back. But by the time she's back, she's already exhausted just energy and space, and she's discombobulated with her body, that anything that's not in her area that she could just fall on is going to be tough to maneuver out of. And so literally she's just caught off guard. The ball comes in. She should have come out right there, because she starts running towards the ball, makes a dead stop right at the small box. Would she have gotten there? I don't think so. Before the ball and Morgan makes contact.
She knew that, huh?
And she knew that, but again, that's just a miscalculation where you have to make that reaction in quick time, right? So yeah, a great ball. The header got the job done. Morgan gets back on the score sheet, and really gives San Diego Wave that like boost of confidence to say, you know what, maybe we are the best team in the league right now. And
Yeah, and I mean,
even though it hasn't been that throughout the season. It really it's been a tough season. Casey Stoney will attest to that. There's been some tough losses, some losses
there's
that
been
are
times where she has no
ugly.
defenders,
No
center
defenders, no
backs
anything.
to go for. To Ryan's point, not to take away from this, he said best wave performance I've seen in 2 years. Not to take away from it, but Sophia Smith was out for Portland, and yes, she was out. She did suffer that injury. She has a mild MCL sprain, and it's week to week. Luckily for San Diego, she wasn't available for this game. Obviously, you want to play the best, and you want to beat the best.
Yeah.
Had Sophia Smith been on that field for Portland, I
Would've
think
changed
she
things.
would have
Yeah.
probably gotten one past Sheridan.
Yeah.
The way Wave played, I think they still would have taken the win. Don't get me wrong, Sheridan had a hell of a game.
Yeah. And it takes one player really to sometimes destabilize, especially in this league, the entire team, because now you have to really consider defending her a little harder. You have to take some resources out of the midfield to be able to do that in an effective way. It doesn't give maybe a Van Egmond that freedom to be able to move up and have that space. And not saying that that's the position to position, but you start moving things around, and no, that's a huge part of it. But another huge part of it is that at the end of the day, championship teams are healthy. Championship teams are the ones that get to the end. They're the ones that are the most complete. Sure, everybody's in pain. Everybody is hurting, but they've made it there. And so far, it looks like Wave are in a good position for that. Abby Dahlkemper, you retired her halfway through the season.
I really did. I really did.
But she's
Glad
back.
I was wrong. So at the table right now, all teams have 20 matches played. There's 2 games left in the season. Currently, you have Orlando Pride beating Angel City, who Orlando Pride are sitting in 7th place. And with this win, they would be pretty much jumping up to 3rd place. Isn't that crazy? 7th to 3rd place.
I mean, again, considered
Yeah, no,
all,
exactly.
all aspects,
So
right?
San Diego Wave finally cleared a point off from Portland with this win. They're sitting at 1st place with 33 points. Portland in 2nd with 32. And the first 2 advance straight to semifinals and get to host a semifinal at home. Gotham is sitting in 3rd. North Carolina, who San Diego play next, are sitting in 4th place, which is going to be a tough game as well. But that's kind of what we have on the table right now. The battle for playoffs are very much still alive for every team, I think, except for Kansas City Currents. I think mathematically they're out, considering their goal difference is -9. With this win, San Diego Wave did clinch a playoff spot. So no matter if they lose the next 2 games, they may not play the semifinal or quarterfinal at home, but they would have a playoff as well. And if they get to the final, it will be a home final because this championship game is going to be held at Snapdragon. Up next for San Diego Wave is North Carolina, who are sitting in 4th place. It's going to be a tough game. And I kind of want to say mathematically, I'm not too sure. But if they win this game, I think they're very good at clinching a home semifinal. They'd be at 36 points. Carolina will stay at 29. Depends on how Gotham performs or Portland. But they would be giving themselves a very... Oh, there we go. Ryan says Portland and Gotham play next week. Perfect. So I think if they do beat North Carolina, that pretty much kind of clinches the home semifinal, whether it's 1st or 2nd place.
That has to be poster board material for the team, and I think now it's really setting in because there was a point in time in the season where this didn't seem like it was going to be possible. They announced that the final of the championship game is going to be at Snapdragon, soccer specifically, and they are, and at that point, I didn't think they really had a chance because they had just looked terrible against.
Yeah, no, and now they're looking like the title
LAFC,
contenders.
Angel City. But yeah, no, 100%. So good on the team, on the squad to be able to do that. We'll follow that trajectory. And
So
yes,
say you do beat North Carolina. You finish off the season at home on October 15th against Racing Louisville, who are still very much fighting for a playoff spot, right? Do you save your players in that game, knowing that you won't have another week of playing in the quarterfinal because you're kind of get that bye week. That's 2 weeks of the players not playing, but you risk injuries.
That's always the question, right? Do you risk
Do
injuries,
you
or
just limit to 45 minutes the key
do
players?
you stop the rhythm? They're playing. The team is working right now. You got to keep it going.
There you go, Nick.
But-
Nick says he's going to make it a drinking game every time someone says soccer specific. Let's get him fucked up. Let's get him faded.
But I mean, this team right now is running on all cylinders, and again, Ryan's Wade is the best I've seen him in a while. So I think that in order to make sure that a soccer specific stadium has a soccer specific championship tournament culmination, they have to continue this. And I think you keep playing the players, but you play them smartly. You give them some time. You rotate some players. You see what you want to see. There isn't that urgency that you need, but again, you still kind of want to make sure that the players are on tip top form, because unfortunately you can't recreate that urgency that you're going to have in playoffs. So I really think that it's going to be a time where Casey's going to have to it's the philosophy that Casey has on this so far. There are some things that have worked for Casey, some things that have not worked for Casey. But they've been able to kind of sort of adjust. They're in a position right now where if you had asked them a couple months ago, they'd be really happy to even be considering. But I mean, look, it's a storyline that might actually happen for soccer in San Diego to be able to win the first
Outdoor professional soccer championship?
Let me check with Albion.
Nah, I think they lost.
Cool. But yeah, so the story is there. It's just a matter of them finishing the story and really
And
getting.
we'll see if it
getting
happens.
to that.
They were close last season in the first season, losing in the semifinals. So knowing that there could be a championship at home, like that in that soccer specific stadium, that would be phenomenal.
I think
but
I'm just
that's-
being mean.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we have. I just want to get Nick a little drunk.
Before we talk to again, talking about finishing the story, fucking this story, right? San Diego Loyal.
Let's dive in.
Coming to an end, unfortunately, for many reasons. However,
Their second to last regular season home game ever.
yes, here at Torero Stadium, and let me tell you, it was an interesting one, right? So, it's one of these situations where you see one team 2 times very near. We haven't seen Phoenix in a while. Like we were talking to a player earlier about this, and just to give some insight on that, we will be having Grant Stoneman's interview here at the end of this segment because we have the project overall that we've had for a while. Sorry, I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Somebody was like, "This is a great idea," and I was like, "Oh, that is a great idea," but we're doing a version of that. Like, I'd love to see that idea still flesh out. But
Okay. I
it's
can't wait
fun.
to hear it.
But however, 4th time I use however today. We have the project of getting Team 1 players on. Grant Stoneman being the first one. He joined us last week. We interrupted his Thursday night football watching. His
it was the Lions. He's
his
a Lions
Detroit
fan.
Lions beating the Green Bay Packers. Sorry,
Ryan. Down.
that must have been.
Awkward.
I was just gonna stop like, fuck these guys.
We love you, Ryan. We do.
But at the end of the day, this is a story that needs to be told in a lot of different formats, a lot of ways. Glory Magazine captured a lot of it, but we're going to have Team 1 players coming on and speaking about their experiences, their time. Again, Grant Stoneman being the first one. Earlier today, we recorded with Colin Martin. That was actually a really good interview. But honestly, it was a really fun interview, the one that we had right after. It was Captain Charlie Adams. So those are going to be fun to just kind of start releasing. And, you know, it's getting the perspective of the players who have been here since day one. Since
some of you are going to love the
some
interview
players
with
been-
Hackworth.
Yeah, Morgan Hackworth is coming up. So that'll be cool.
I might get sick for that one.
Oh, you might get sick for that one?
No. I will stand my ground and my belief. But anyway, San Diego Loyal plays Monterey Bay, and What are you laughing at?
Because I just showed Charlie again.
Oh,
Hey, Charlie,
No.
what do you think? Oi, bruv.
I just left the Knicks comment. Shout out to everyone in 109. Everyone brought it. Saw some journalists going hard in amongst it too.
Look, gonzo journalism is a thing. I don't know if you know what this is. Hunter S. Thompson, and there's absolutely no way you know what the fuck this
No,
is.
I don't.
But
But I'm in a nod of respect how you love that. I do
you
that.
really do. Just a
Yeah.
little. Oh yeah.
I have no idea.
Pretty much, as gonzo journalism is a first person account of things that are happening in a journalistic way, but you are actually in it.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of what it was. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is a phenomenal book, a great movie with Johnny Depp. You like Johnny Depp?
I do.
Yeah, Johnny Depp, which is cool.
On his case.
Yeah. Yes, on his case. Controversial. In any case, please translate Guzman's post-game interview. We will. We will right now. But
This was a historic game for many reasons, right? It was a game that clinches the playoffs for San Diego Loyal in their last season ever. It's also the second hat trick San Diego Loyal has in their history, with Ronaldo Damus scoring in the last minutes of the game, securing the hat trick. But you said it was an interesting start to this.
yeah, so it was all kind of captured in the fact that it rained.
Yeah.
It finally rained during a San Diego Loyal game. I know a lot of people wanted that. I know a lot of people were bummed out. Last time we had
I'm like, was it rain or
projected.
a hard sprinkle?
No. It's okay.
water coming
San Diego rain.
San Diego
come on,
rain. Okay,
that's-
yeah.
There's actually a really cool picture of our boss's boss getting drenched in halftime because it was the four letters, the big 4 that were being honored at halftime, and you can literally see like the rain.
That's cool.
Yeah. So anyway, an added element to that, to the fun happening in the stands as well. The game started interestingly just because it was one of those instances where you get to see exactly what they practiced since last time. This is a team that Xavi scored the 2 goals against in the dying minutes to get that victory, to put San Diego Loyal even in a position to be able to consider home field as a possible playoff setting. Monterrey brought it, though. Monterrey brought it for a little bit. Coque Vegas
So
was
like the first 20 minutes of the game, Monterrey were on top of their shit.
Yeah.
And they started off winning the game. They started off going up in the 19th minute.
I mean, and again, even before that, like, you had a great stuff by Coque Vegas, kind of seeing it at the end. And he had a good performance here. And early on, the goal. Yeah, like, and that's not ideal. Nate mentioned it at the end. They were becoming, there was this kind of pattern of early goals being conceded by Loyal. A great ball, but way too much space in there. A little bit of a pinball action to get that goal in the first place. But ultimately, you go down 1-0, and
It's kind of like, shit, here we go.
same thing. They were down 2-0 against this team. So this Monterrey team scores early, knows how to score on Loyal. They got it done.
By the way, we got Stoneman before this game, so in the interview, he won't talk about that slide and deflection and goal.
Yeah, which is fine. He tried. Maybe had he not interviewed, he would have deflected it. I don't know.
But
yeah.
no, the quick response from San Diego Loyal, right? Just 7 minutes, and after
Already knocking on
to tie
door.
it up, and they were knocking on doors with shots. Adrian Perez just will take a shot from anywhere, really, with the right and left foot, and then Coque Vegas with, 7 saves in this game.
Yeah, again, that's something that he's not necessarily known for, no more for his feet, but he can get the job done, and he has been getting the job done. He's been set up for opportunities like that, but then you get this cross, this amazing just laser
And I
to the
think
head.
This is something that San Diego Loyal needed from their left wing back, right? And it's something Bodley has done very good.
He's been scoring.
You can't just rely on Charlie Adams to cross everything. You need someone else to be able to give good crosses, and Bodley has been doing that as of lately. Gets the ball here, first touch cross. Ronaldo Damus is able to put it away. To be able to beat,
Here we go.
what's his name? Hugh Roberts
Hugh Roberts, man.
on a freaking header.
with Damas' size.
Damus? Like Hugh Roberts is a heading machine
Hugh-
on that back line.
Fuck, call him Huge Roberts.
Huge Roberts.
Um,
I like that actually. That's so dumb.
so dumb.
And then you had Adrian Pettis again cutting in with his left foot. Kind of like, it reminds me a little bit of, not going to compare the two, but Arjen Robben is very good at cutting in and shooting.
No mames. Yes. Yes. Again, that is as factual as soccer specific. It is a fact. It is a fact. If those are the parameters. Cutting to the left.
Nick,
Arjen Robben.
drink, Nick. But yeah, no, and then
Guzman. Goose.
Charlie Adams corner kick for his 30th assist. Guzman gets, and he talked about it on the post game, right? It's kind of like I saw it coming, and it's a header that you kind of know it's gonna go in.
Yeah.
And he knows, and he said it. It's relieving because he's had chances before to score, and he finally gets one in. And his first goal for San Diego Loyal.
Yeah. Celebrated. Had a celebration.
growler, too.
Pre-planned. He was happy about the beer.
Was there, sorry, any locals people in the chat? Is there a reason Damos didn't get the growler after scoring a hat trick? I'm just curious. I know it was a Hispanic Heritage Night celebration, but I'm just curious. Throw it in the comment. I was just curious.
I was really looking forward to talking to
Damos,
Ronaldo
yes.
Damos at the post match
didn't
because
get
I
him.
mean, player, team, man of the match, and locals man of the match, 109 man of the match, are different. But I was je ne sais pas parlez-vous français, omelette du fromage. Yeah,
You and Alan were practicing,
we were practicing.
and we were doing the Caballo Dorado. We'll get to that.
No, I won't.
He doesn't drink. Gotcha.
There's been players who are under the age. who
Didn't
have
get it though.
received-
No, Corey Herzog kept it. I believe the growler for a player that was
Yeah.
not 21.
Yeah.
Who was that
Guys.
player?
Who was it? I don't
Like
know.
you could have.
He wasn't
You
21.
could have gave Dom as the player of the game, and then the growler could have been
Why are
taken
we
by
arguing
someone
this?
else.
It's
Ah,
fine.
yeah,
whatever. Everybody's happy.
Whatever, yeah.
I mean, it went to a great cause. Guzman enjoyed it.
Oh, he's gonna chuck that shit for sure. But anyways, halftime. Halftime. San Diego Loyal's up 2-1, and that's kind
Good
of like
place
where
to
you
be.
want to be. Yeah,
Good place
exactly.
to be.
The rain started at halftime, and I know you were up in the stands. Alan and I were down there, and we're like, let's go at the press box because it's gonna be raining. We don't have umbrellas. Vámonos.
Little weenie.
We go in there. We're sitting down. You come in. You just tell me, all right, I'm gonna go to 109. I said, whoa. I want to go to 109 now too.
Again, being a retired player and no affiliation to any sort of team, any sort of anything. It's my journalistic integrity to do what's best for the city and the story itself. And in order to do that, I felt like it was necessary to really truly understand the emotions, the pain, the happiness,
supporter
the supporter culture, and really dive into that and perhaps have a exclusive conversation with Andrew Vasiliadis, who before had a emotional, a charged, powerful couple of words for people in the parking lot, but I wanted to make sure to not have lost the opportunity to not do that one last time, and it rained, and
That was cool.
and
It
you know,
rained,
just
it
we
rained beer too.
shared a couple of moments with Andrew post match, post game, and everything, and you know, he thanked I didn't tell you, he thanked us for just being there. Like it's cool. It's part of it.
Yeah.
In order to get the story and capture it, Gonzo journalism had to be
Nick's
summoned.
views are good. Yeah, so we were there, and with
Still had a job to do, so still made
course.
sure to make it tasteful.
I stayed a little longer after you went back
Yeah,
down.
you captured images.
And I got to experience. I really wanted to experience a goal in 109. I don't think I've ever had that chance, and luckily, Damos got to score the second one, the third one of the game for Loyal, his second one. And let me just tell you, man, it's celebrating a goal up there. Not, I mean, just watching people celebrate the goal. Beer getting thrown at you, everything, the smoke bomb going off, which you're not supposed to. But at the end of the day, who's gonna stop him now? it was a nice experience. It was really cool to see from a journalistic standpoint.
Yes.
Like that. And yeah, no, I mean, I really wanted to get a goal in and celebrate it, and it happened, and it was a very special moment. After that, I kind of went back down to finish the job. And that's kind of like what the game was. I feel like it was a very emotional game for a lot of people. The chairman, you don't see, where are you going to see an owner shirtless in the supporter section?
Fucking barbaric. Look at him. Look at him go.
like that's beautiful, and that's what this team has represented, and it's just like, again, like, you're not gonna see that anywhere else, and you gotta cherish the last few games that you have. The last home game for San Diego Loyal will be Saturday, October 7th against big rivals Oakland Roots.
Regular season home game, correct.
Regular season home game. They have an away game against El Paso on Wednesday. That's an away. 6 p.m. That's what I was thinking. I was like, do we have any player interviews? But no.
No, we're clear. No, we're clear because they have to fucking play a game.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? But yeah, it's
The camcorder, the mics. That was some real reporter shit.
real reporting from the first game, Costa del Este, not Las Vegas.
No, Costa del Este. Preseason.
I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Me and my Lion King shirt.
It's okay. I had the only sweater that ever fit me, so.
That's so true. Chegorlo.
Oh, no. Stop.
But no, like, it was really cool to be able to recapture just the moment of what was experienced, and again, just being overall thankful for, the team existing and stuff, and yeah, look at that.
Ay, la madre.
You showed Tom Penn your picture of before and after. Well, not after, because he sees you.
I can tell
but he's
you
like-
right now, I am the first person Tom Penn meets.
I still love that so much.
Keep playing it. Keep playing
I
it.
love that.
Keep playing. I'm the first person that Tom Penn ever meets that was close to being 400 pounds. So.
No, you were the first person that Tom Penn knows that lost 200 pounds.
Oh, there you go.
That's what he said.
Oh, perfect.
Don't want to misquote, but yeah, I mean, it's your journey, man. You got to be proud of it. The number is the number, bro.
No, what's hilarious is that we're media and I'm like, no,
Literally the
That's
first
not
time.
allowed. That's not allowed.
Literally the first
Not
time.
allowed.
Literally
Learning.
the first time
Learning.
out there. I put you in your place. But yeah, so it just
Chiba mad dogging the hell out of that guy. Yeah.
the festival of goals just kept coming. Ronaldo just from every which way, and this is a Ronaldo that everybody wanted. This is a Ronaldo that Nate Miller wanted. This is the Nate Miller who went out to get this guy and wanted to make sure that he peaked at the right time. Nate Miller always says that.
It's looking like it.
He's looking like it.
Looking like it.
That's undeniable in the ways that he did it too. Getting involved, attacking the opposition, making the space, creating the chances, laying it off here for Corona. Corona doing the very smart thing with a cut back pass right into the unsuspecting heart of the defense, and Ronaldo being able to get it in. Usually, sometimes we've seen that ball get stopped.
Tap it in.
And this time it went in, and it was really, really cool. Yeah, Joe Mad Dogging out. But again,
it kept going.
It was a matter of Loyal staying strong too, because again, this could have gotten out of hand. They could have gone 3-2. Now you have yourself a game. Monterey Bay has it against you, right? Because you won it in their house in the last second. Why can't they do that same thing, right? But you had to make sure to put the game away. And that they did, right? Morgan Hackworth getting in some important moments, getting a goal with Hackworth on the field is great. Like that's something that you need to see because you don't know. You might need to go to your last resource in the playoffs, um, and get that. And at the end, he was trying. Ronaldo was trying, and he finally got it. Gaining possession in his own half, charging all the way across the field on a counterattack, and he made this goal. He made this play. He made this hat trick. He made it happen.
Gassed.
He
by the
made it
end of
happen.
this run. He was gassed and he was tired, and I don't know how he got this shot off, but he did it, and that sealed the victory. What's crazy that I'm looking at right now is that Phoenix has also clinched a playoff game, but
Yeah.
not Orange County, even though they're tied in points. The Western Conference for the USL Championship is absolutely crazy right now. So many teams still have a chance to go through. San Diego Loyal, though, clinched a playoff spot. They're sitting in third place right now because Phoenix managed to tie it against Orange County. Managed to tie it against Phoenix. No.
What?
Phoenix tied it against Orange County.
Okay.
And that gave San Diego Loyal the being able to sit comfortably in third place. 3 games left, Tony. You got El Paso, Oakland Roots, who are known to just have the upper hand on Loyal,
Yeah.
and the Las Vegas Lights, who came into your house and gave you a run for your money. You tied that game, and now you got to play them over there.
Yes.
So no, I mean that's what we stand right now. And I know we're gonna hear from Guzman right now, player of the match, winner of the Growler. People want the translation from the great Tony the Translator. Yeah, that's a good nickname, Tony the Translator.
Nice surprise to be 2 alone, but I hit it very good. And
Es que le pegué muy
thanks
bien
God, be a good goal.
y fue muy buen gol.
Señor?
Felicidades por la anotación.
Congratulations on the goal.
En inglés, ¿no? Por la
I think you just spoke about it in English.
¿Cómo
But
sentiste el gol para ti?
how did you feel that goal for you?
Para que, pues, obviamente,
How did you, obviously,
Sí, la verdad que
Yeah, it was a
sobre
good
todo
goal for
eso
you.
fue en un momento importante del partido.
Yeah, it was a very
En ese momento
important
el
moment in the
partido
game,
estaba para cualquier
and
lado,
it was
todo
for
cerrado.
it could go whichever
Creo que
way
el
the
equipo tomó
game,
mucha confianza.
but
Creo
the
que
team had a
nos
lot of
sirvió
confidence,
para poder desarrollar un mejor fútbol,
and we needed to
para-
play better
para calmar un
to
poco
be
al
able to
equipo
develop
rival, porque
a
a
good
partir de ese
game
momento
plan
el partido fue
and to
prácticamente
calm the game
nuestro.
down.
Creo que nos hacía falta ya asegurar
I think we
los
needed to
playoffs
make
para
sure that
quitarnos ese peso
that
encima.
we secured
Y ahora tenemos
playoffs.
que
It was
amarrar,
time,
queremos jugar aquí ante
and then we
nuestra
want to play
gente
here
y, como
in front
lo
of the
dije
people,
en inglés también, queremos ir por todo,
and
queremos
then we
ser
want to go for
campeonato
everything.
y sabemos que los playoffs es un torneo
And the playoffs
totalmente
are
nuevo.
going to be a very tough here on the long.
Es el Championship, eres un hombre de mucha experiencia a nivel mexicano, ¿no?
You've already had a lot of experience in the Liga MX.
Como un trampolín ahora
Can you see this as a trampoline into something else?
aparecer para llegar a una MLS.
Maybe to get to the MLS.
Sí, claro, sería,
Yeah, of course.
sería algo muy bueno.
It would be
La verdad es
really,
que
really interesting.
me he encontrado con un nivel
You know,
muy alto.
I-
me he
I find
encontrado
myself
con
in a
un
good
muy
level,
alto nivel en los
a
jugadores.
very
Hay
high
muy grandes jugadores,
level
hay
of the
muy buen
players
nivel,
as well,
tanto individual como
maybe
los equipos en
individually and
general
as
de
a
la
team
liga.
collectively.
Me ha sorprendido bastante
It's
la
honestly surprised me here in the
infraestructura de
USL.
los equipos de la liga como tal. La verdad que muy sorprendido para bien.
And I'm really, really
La
surprised
verdad
in a
que
good
me
way.
encantaría poder quedarme por acá.
And I would
¿por qué
love
no?
to maybe
Buscar la
stay in
MLS,
these
la
these
misma
towns, these
USL.
parts,
Digo,
maybe in the
veremos, ahorita
USL.
estoy
You never
totalmente
know.
enfocado en el cierre
But
de
right now
torneo
I'm still
con el equipo,
100%
con el
focused on the
Loyal.
game for
No
Loyal,
pensamos en otra cosa que
and we're not
no sea
thinking in
campeonato.
anything else other than the championship.
Muy visto el San Diego, pero a ti que eres nuevo, ¿cómo te cayó esta noticia?
So you're kind of new here in San Diego, but how did
Sí,
this
nos sorprendió,
news
siempre
actually
es una
impact you?
noticia triste,
It's
obviamente,
sad
para
news,
todos
obviously,
nuestros fans, para toda
for all
la
the
gente que
fans,
estamos aquí.
for all the people
Creo
that's
que
here.
este es un gran equipo y no tengo duda
It's
que
a really
en
good,
algún
good team, and
momento
I don't have a
va
doubt in my
tener una
mind that
revancha y
that we
ojalá,
want
¿por qué
it
no
a
tarde
lot,
tanto y pueda estar aquí una vez más? Pero
and then we
la
can
verdad
have
que
success here
hay que
one more time.
hay que disfrutar lo que nos queda
But we gotta
por los
enjoy. We gotta enjoy what we have
jugadores, por la
left
ciudad, por
for
todo
the
y-
city, for
y ojalá
everything.
que lo podamos cerrar de una manera
And I really hope
magnífica,
that we
sea con un
can
buen
close
campeonato.
this out with a really good performance at the end. He did explain too. Obviously, he thought that like a little celebration was for his wife. He told his wife he was going to celebrate like that because she's cachetona, which means she has chubby cheeks, and this is the celebration that he did. So
cool.
that was the context for that.
And now stat leaders for San Diego Loyal, Ronaldo Damos and Evan Conway are tied at 10 goals, which is
Oh wow,
very good.
That's not
Adrian
bad.
Pettis, I just gave it away. Adrian Pettis in third with 8 goals.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think's next? Who would you have to guess?
Calvis. Oh, all time or right now?
No, right now. 7 goals.
Blake Bodley.
Tumi Moshabani.
Tumi Moswani, then Blake Bodley.
And then Blake Bodley has 5 goals. Xavi is in 7th, just under Joe
2.
Corona with 3, and
3.
Xavi has 2.
Is it
Under
Escuderia?
Xavi is Enoch Mushalagusa,
Saludos.
Saludos.
Season's greetings.
Collier with 2 as well.
Saw Collier in the stands just walking around.
That's cool.
Good lad. Good chap.
Glad he's
All
not
right.
the one.
Cool. So there's a game against in the midweek against
Paso.
El Paso Locomotive. Every game here from here on out is important if you really want to go ahead and cement yourself for a chance to play at home in front of your home fans. We were talking with the players about it. You'll hear Grant Stoneman here in a little bit. Stick around for that interview. But other than that, important games coming up next week before the next episode does come up. San Diego Loyal play here at home, the last regular home season game in the history of San Diego Loyal. So it was really special atmosphere in this penultimate one. But we'll see what that last game has in store for everybody, and hopefully it's a positive one. So after that, it's all road games. Last game of the season, regular season, is going to be against Las Vegas, in Las Vegas. So that'll pretty much be a home game, but we'll get there when we get there. Anything else, Chiva?
I think that's it. So I hope you guys enjoy the first interview of this project with Team 1 players. Defender number 5, Grant Stoneman.
Bye forever. Welcome to Two Balls and a Mic. We are here with a brand new episode. It's going to be an interview series that we're going to go ahead and start doing here with San Diego Loyal, coming to its last couple games. We don't know when those last couple games will be, but we're going to have a chat with somebody who's directly involved with this process, somebody who's been involved since the beginning. You know him, you love him. Nickname around town has always been Mr. Yellow Card. I don't know if he knows that or he embraces that, but we have Mr. Alan Underwood as well as Numero 5, the player who scored the first goal after the pandemic in an away match, Mr. Grant Stoneman. Grant, how are you doing?
Good. Appreciate you guys taking out the time and having me on.
No, 100% appreciated, but I mean, you know, we want to just go ahead and get to it, and this is a little project that we wanted to do to, you know, honor the time and the dedication for all the players, but specifically the players that have been here since day one, right? Yourself have, you know, as part of that important baseline of this squad in and out of the on the pitch, but can you just kind of take us back? I know it's now been a while, but just your first time hearing about San Diego Loyal and any involvement with you with this team here in San Diego.
Yeah, so I was over in League One with Lansing, 4 years, 4.5 years ago, and I was still looking for a team. It was getting pretty close to when preseason started, and Nate just reached out and said he might have an opportunity where you'd have to come in and kind of put your work in, and it was in San Diego under with Landon Donovan, a legend. So once I heard that, and all I had to do was work really hard, it was kind of a no-brainer. And then when I got out here, I realized this place was amazing. First year was kind of up and down, obviously with COVID and everything, but it was a great first year, and I really haven't looked back ever since. It's been an amazing ride so far.
And I mean, growing up, obviously, like soccer your whole life. Tell us, how did you first get involved with the sport at a younger age?
Yeah, my parents put me through a bunch of sports, and I kind of just had to choose. So I played basketball, baseball. I wrestled when I was younger. Kind of put through everything, and I finally came to the conclusion that I love soccer the most. And yeah, I started playing when I was like 4 or 5 years old, you know, kind of like everybody, and just stuck with. And it's something that's been an important part of my life, and I wouldn't change anything about it.
You say wrestling, is that just the Greco-Roman style, or is that inspired by any other sort of wrestling? I am myself a huge
No,
wrestling fan.
yeah, just how old was I? I was young. I was like, I think I wrestled when I was in like fourth or fifth grade, just normal wrestling, school wrestling. Kind of get put through the paces of getting pinned down at a young age. You learn you don't really like that stuff. So it was a learning experience, but only 1 year, and I don't think I kind of wanted to continue that at all.
Alan.
Yeah, so you come out to San Diego, you get a couple games in, and take us through what it was like to kind of go through that process through COVID with the team and being in a new location after kind of playing closer to home earlier in your career.
Yeah, new location. COVID happening. It was weird, man. It was really weird. I know everyone was having their own weird little time with it, and it was kind of just finding different ways to train. I remember we were training out like at a ranch, a horse ranch, just to get like where there's a bunch of grass so we could train, and we got split up into blocks, so you had to show up at a certain time throughout the day, and it was just trying to make the most of what it was. We had Zoom workouts all the time. We couldn't be at the gym all at once. So it was really interesting. The team I think kind of embraced it, went through some bumps, but I'd say overall it was a good year on the field. But obviously not making playoffs was very disappointing. But I think as a group we kind of, and you can see with the guys still around, we kind of like developed something little there, and it kind of bloomed from there.
And that's just had to be a unique experience just in your career. And how did that make you better in any sort of way on the pitch, just going through that experience? And I mean, everybody was kind of doing wacky things, right? Like we were just talking about that goal that you scored. We were having watch parties on Zoom for those matches. So everybody
Yeah.
was kind of away, but like after that ordeal, what did that teach you just about yourself or about the game or anything about that?
Yeah. I think it taught, like I came in, like I said, I came in on little money and I had to work my way into the team. So I kind of learned that if you just kind of put your head down, I've known it kind of my whole life, that I just kind of had the demeanor of kind of just put your head down and work and don't complain about it, and that's kind of where my head was at that whole time. Was you're gonna get thrown punches, and it's kind of just how you roll with them. And I thought, if anything, I just want to stay in this amazing kind of location. This is an amazing city, and I didn't want to leave here, so I kind of just put my head down and tried to work from there.
And you delivered right here in one of these goals away. Um, Commentary, everybody was kind of still, coming back from COVID as well. So everybody is getting back into it. Jack Metcalf, shout out Jack Metcalf.
With 100 degrees today.
Oh yeah, I remember this one.
Metcalf puts it inside the box. Ball in and a goal. San Diego takes the lead off the corner and a beautiful redirected ball.
That was one of the hottest games I've ever played in my life. Like in my life. And it was in elevation at like middle of the day in Utah. It was a hard game, especially first game back when you don't really have your lungs yet, but that game was tough.
So what did this mean to you? I remember this is vividly, right? Like there was kind of this, just what's going to happen with this team? Who is this team? And the team was kind of gelling together. It was in a weird spot, and then you come in, score this goal in blistering heat and everything. But I mean, at the end of the day, job done, right?
Yeah, I remember that game a lot because I thought the game itself, I didn't play well at all. Like they had two really big chances. One I think was from a giveaway I had. So I came in the locker room after the game like pretty pissed off. But kind of everybody around me kind of helped and lifted me up. I remember Charlie helping me out a lot, and it was kind of like, hey, we got the job done, and that's really all that matters. And I think it was a great start for kind of what those 2 or 3 months where we were stuck inside. I think it was great just to get that win. I remember we were all just feeling relieved after that.
And I mean, take us to that back line, right? We're started since day one, since that first Las Vegas Lights game. and throughout the years you've had different players sharing that center back line or that defensive line with you. What has been your favorite part about your experience so far with that back line?
I think with the back line, I think the freedom and the way we play has been really enjoyable back there. Like we're not booting it long. Obviously, there's some games where we need to do it more for sure. But I enjoy kind of like building out, and it's just a fun brand of football that Nate wants us to play, and it's just so enjoyable to train every day doing that, and in games doing that. I think that's just been the most enjoyable thing about it. And we've had so many guys. I wish I could count how many guys we've had in our back line throughout the 4 years, but I'm sure it's a lot.
I mean,
It started with Joe Greenspan.
Joe Greenspan. Like that's
Mm.
again thinking about that first event and just the people who were wearing that first uniform.
I mean, Tony
And-
was number 15.
Alan,
Yeah, so over the course of the 4 years, it's like you've been kind of that mainstay. Like, what have you learned from the different people that have come through? You know, the Josh Yaros of the world. Like, what have you picked up from them that have been able to have you be that consistent player on the team, kind of almost automatic, unless you're on a yellow card accumulation or something. But
Yeah.
being that mainstay of a defender, what have you been able to pick up from them?
Yeah, I mean, Josh, what a great opportunity he had at St. Louis, and he's doing such a good job. Yeah, I mean, you can just see in his play, he's just so locked in, so dialed all the time, and just learning from someone who was also a leader on the field, trying to like bring that into my game and to do it in the right way. And Josh was really, really great at that. And even guys like Joe, who had been around for a bit and knew the league really well, and obviously shaped and helped me become the player that I am today. And then also Jack Metcalf back there, having him on the right all the time was huge for the years we had him. Again, just being around the league for so long, definitely shown me the rings, and I appreciate all those guys and what they did for the club and for myself.
I would say, like, one of the things I think during that COVID time where people were able to kind of hear more of the barking on the pitch was just how vocal you were and how vocal you've been. Where did that confidence come from coming? I mean, you were a young player when you signed here. Wasn't like you were like this, grizzled veteran, like a Sal Zizzo, but you really took, command of that back line when it was your job to do it. Where'd you get that confidence from?
I think just playing the games, and obviously Nate was a big help. And again, talking about the guys like Joe and Metcalf. I mean, I remember Metcalf and I would get in arguments all the time. So it's just part of the position. And I think it helps me if I'm communicating a lot, kind of staying locked into the game. It keeps me just engaged on everything. And obviously the guys in front of me want to hear what I have to say to kind of organize us. So it's a fun part of it. And it's just something I don't think I'm great at it, amazing at it yet, but it's just something that I enjoy a lot.
I clearly remember there was a game where you and your goalkeeper was Trey Muse at the time, and super young, and you were already kind of to Alan's point, like you're already cementing yourself as that leader, and you really kind of, bark some things at him and that's necessary, right? Like that's exactly what needs to happen in those situations. I think he went down and for a ball that he shouldn't, came out wrong or something. But I mean, Trey Muse going over to even to Austin to Coque Vegas now, like you've had your fair share of different goalkeeping styles and just iterations of that. Like, how have you been able to adapt to that? And are they been able to adapt to you? And I mean, Coque didn't know English. Like, what was that like when it barely started out as well?
Yeah. Going off the communication thing, I think I've learned obviously that people respond to different things. So I've learned that throughout the years, and I think I'm still trying to get better at it. You can't rip into somebody if they're not going to respond well to it, so I'm still learning that. And I think with Koke and everyone we've had, I mean, number one, it's so enjoyable playing with Koke. It's been really fun developing with him. Um, no, it's been great. Like again, the style of football we play, it's nice to have someone who can step in the midfield and basically play as a center back with me, and kind of like learning the balance of that and building out on goal kicks is something we train all the time, and it's nice having someone who reciprocates the love of kind of what we're doing back there, and it's been great. It's been really fun.
And I mean, have you always been part of teams where it's a 3 center back line with wing backs, or were you more used to like a 4-4-2 style, something like that?
I think growing up, it was definitely more four backs. I think the first time I did it was in Lansing with Nate. So, um, it was new then, and we've kind of just kept it going through these last 4 years. So, it was a little bit of a learning curve for sure, especially my first year at Lansing. But it's been great to try to like fine tune everything, and it's been fun.
For sure. And I saw like at Loyola you were number 4, at Lansing you were number 4, Loyal 5. Was there a preference? Did you want number 4 and then you stuck with 5?
That was one of the arguments with Metcalf, guaranteed.
Gotcha. I bet. I bet.
You know, I haven't been like a numbers guy. Like in college, I was 23 for my first year. I switched to 4, my last 2 or 3 years. But no, I'm not a big number guy. I'm not gonna get in a fight over that. I think I was kind of just giving it, and I know getting that number 5 was a good one, and it's stuck, and it's been good.
So, all right. So, not a numbers guy, maybe superstitious, or maybe, some of the oogity boogity around stuff. This whole yellow card thing, Grant,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
been a storyline here in San Diego.
Mr. Yellow Card
Is that
himself.
something that gets back to you? Is that something that you're conscious about? Is that something because if that just tells me one or two things, it's usually it comes from a foul, warranted or not. The yellow card, it comes and for the most part, it's because that's a style of play where you go in hard. You're somebody who gets involved, who isn't afraid to, I would say in Spanish, poner la patadura, to just get your foot in there and get and do what you're supposed to do and get what's done. As a goalkeeper myself, formerly, that's the type of center back I need. I need somebody who kicks ass and isn't afraid to take one for the team, essentially.
Yeah, no, it's been a whole discussion kind of with Landon and Nate throughout the years of when to take yellows, how to take yellows. It's a lot. Like they always bring up Jada Mayer. No, not Jada Mayer. Who's this? Chad Marshall in Seattle. Like his yellow card record throughout those years. He played so many games was so few, like so few. So they always brought him up, and it was always the discussion was always not affecting the team with my yellows, and I've affected the team multiple times through reds or yellows, and those times suck, obviously. But it's kind of like a game you play, and I think this year I've perfected it. I've done a lot better with not getting stupid yellow cards with dissent or anything like that. Tactical yellow cards if there's like a transition or something like that. And I haven't missed a game this year, knock on wood. We still got a few left, and I think I got 2 more to go. So um, it's been a process, honestly, because there's certain times where you want to get stuck in and you want to show like the kind of like the play we want for like at the beginning of the game. And at the same time, I really don't trust these refs one bit. So you got to really play into that a little bit.
Yeah,
It's true.
Before I let you go, Al, no, it's one of those things where you're not the first player to say this specifically about this year. Where Guido actually was talking about just that just mastery and that the working on. Sometimes you don't need to get a yellow card in this situation, and sometimes that Oakland game from last year comes to mind, right? And that's really
Oh yeah.
a point of emphasis that it seems like it happened over the offseason, not just for you, for Guido, just the team overall. And to your credit for the team, I think that it's been noticeable from watching every single game. Like it's definitely something that has been worked on and has been successful.
Hmm. No, I'll give you a story from last year because of how much I was pissed off after that Oakland game. So that ref we had, I think his name's Wilmer or something like that. He refed a game in our preseason. It was like us. I don't know who we were playing. So he came out to Chula, and it was a preseason game. Like we're just trying to get fit, and he's trying to send guys off in a preseason game. And both the teams were like, just leave the guy on. Like it's no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So we literally kicked him off the field in a preseason game, and we refed our own game, and then we had him our last game in the playoffs. So take that as you will, but that's just what happened.
Wow, interesting.
That's
Yeah,
interesting. We
didn't have him all year until that game.
Huh. It's that how things play out like that.
Is
And,
he reffing this season?
I mean, probably.
I have no idea.
At this point, if you ask anybody if anybody's refereeing, it's probably a yeah.
Well, we'll find out in the first playoff game, won't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we will.
Alan,
Sorry,
go ahead.
Alan.
Yeah, no, fine. So we talked about a lot about stuff on the field. Like, let's talk about some of your favorite memories from your time. I think a lot of us are doing some self-reflection about, finding those happy moments as we kind of wind things down. But talk about some of your favorite moments on, off the pitch that you're going to take with you as you continue your career.
Yeah, I mean, so many on the pitch. I mean, how many 3-2 comeback victories have we had over the years?
Yeah.
Every single one of those has been electric. What else? Getting a home playoff game was amazing last year. Making the playoffs for the first time was huge. What else is there? And then off the field, just so many like memories of like I enjoy like going camping with all the boys or some of the guys on the team. So we went up to Sequoia for a few days last year. That was amazing. We went out to Joshua Tree. So I'm gonna miss just being around like just amazing like nature and hiking trails. The beach, gonna miss the beach for sure. Just gonna miss the city and you guys and everybody in the stands. It's definitely gonna suck for sure. I don't think it's hit me yet. I've kind of just been pushing it off to the side and putting it back there until I have to face it. So it's been just an amazing 4 years, and I don't know if I would change anything about it. It's just been great, and I just kind of want to cherish every kind of last seconds we got. So
Yeah, there's definitely been like you mentioned, right? 3-2 comebacks, and just recently, how special was it for the whole team to see Xavi getting a brace in the last
The
few
boy,
minutes?
the man. Excuse me.
Yeah,
the
just
man.
how was
That's-
that locker room after Xabi in the post game said, the guys love me, and then he said, I think, which we were like, that's
Yeah.
an 18-year-old answered. Like, how special was that moment?
yeah, no, Travi's been with us for so long, and you can literally see the transformation he's had over these years, and to see him come on and do that, you could see us celebrating with him. Like it was massive. It just felt really good to see that he's kind of started his journey, and yeah, it was great to maul him in the locker room. That was definitely a fun one for sure.
And I mean, it's as you mentioned, like it's getting down to crunch time. What's this pressure like, if any? Just on yourself and on the team of like knowing that there is a finality to the team to this effort, but at the same time knowing that you have a pretty darn good chance of making a run at it and having the team for it. So, what's that balance like of just that headspace of this is where we're at. This is reality.
Yeah, I mean we're not stupid. We know we've had some issues over the years, and it's kind of hindered us for sure. And it's definitely in the back of our mind. And again, having that finality of it ending has kind of been our motto over the last few months. Is we know it's going to end, so how can we make it the best ending that we can? And obviously that starts with the home playoff game. Like that will set the tone for all of it, and that's something we really want. It's been a tough two weeks here, a lot of travel, and there's no time for complaining. It's crunch time, and I think everybody's kind of on board with that. And I hope you guys can see that we're going to try to give everything we got for these last 4 games, and make everyone in the stands and in the community proud. And I think that's kind of where our head's at, and we just want to do it for ourselves too. For the guys that have put so much into it, like Beto. Beto wants to see us do so well. We
Damn
want
right.
to do it for Beto. We want to do it for so many people. So it's going to be special, and we really want to do it for all those guys.
I love it, Alan.
I mean, I think that message is super important, and I think it really speaks to where everyone's heads at. Is we got called out by a local newspaper for celebrating weird things, but I do think it is something worth celebrating, and we appreciate, especially the guys have been with it since Team One. It was a special thing for, I think, fans, and I think there's that emotional connection to the team and what you guys have been able to bring. The time that you guys spend with the fans after the match, I think all those things are super important. And so I know I want to say thank you to you guys for giving us something pretty magical for 4 years. And, I think what you just said, I don't think we can say anything better than that. So I appreciate what you guys have done.
Yeah, no, you guys have been around all 4 years, so you guys know it. It's been a climb for sure, and I think our levels kind of increased over the last 4 years. So we really want to end with a bang, and I really hope we can do that, and I really hope we can show that, and I'm gonna miss playing at Torero. It's gonna hurt for sure. So we just want to make the most of it.
And look, obviously, your career trajectory is one thing that kind of interweaves with things like this, especially in a league like the USL Championship, that's battling different things, just other leagues coming into the city, I guess. But as far as you, I know you mentioned that you're not there yet in the processing, but at some point you've had to kind of throw some stuff out there. What's next for Grant Stoneman? What's going to be a next step for you on a personal, professional level? What's your headspace right now? Kind of take us through, where you're at, and if you want to break the news, sure, let's go. That's Austin hasn't retired yet, man. So anything is possible.
Yeah, no, I would if I could. I have obviously I have an agent, and we've been talking, and we just want to find the right fit. I want to go to a club that I absolutely believe in. Like, I believe in this club. So it's definitely gonna be hard, because I don't think there's many teams like this. But I want to get as close as I can to that, and kind of just take the time and make sure my girlfriend likes the place we're moving to as well. So
super important.
That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be good.
No, yeah, and absolutely. I mean, with every ending, there's a new beginning, right? And obviously, you're gonna start thinking about that. Are you also looking for a team that has similar morals, similar community work, like Loyal has had the last 4 years?
Yeah, definitely, and that definitely correlates to the style of play too. So if I can find a fit that, and I think I will. I think it'll be good, and nothing's going to replace this, but hopefully I can get close to it.
Perfect. And then just to kind of close it out here, we're gonna have again Team One players come on. I think we hopefully have Chaz tomorrow. But just kind of, if you want to just in 3 words describe your time in San Diego Loyal, and with that we'll just kind of close it out. If you want to just hang out, we'll do a wrap up at the end. But just 3 words to kind of describe your time here in San Diego Loyal, San Diego, just in general.
I'd say first word with on the field, off the field. It's been eventful these last 4 years. Half the stuff that's gone on in this club, it's crazy. I'd say eventful. I'd say it's been a passionate 4 years. Like, if you don't love what you're doing, like, why are you doing it? And I think we've kind of embraced that here in the club. And what's my last word? I'm gonna say sunny, because I'm gonna miss the sun. I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss this weather, and there's nothing like it out there in the country. So I think that's worthy of putting that in there.
Absolutely. Grant Stoneman, San Diego Loyal, numero cinco, for the past 4 years representing here, the city. Thank you for your time and good luck on the rest of the way. And you got a whole city behind you, Grant. So enjoy it. And you always have friends here in San Diego to kind of lean on and share that sun with, man.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys. Again, thanks for having me on, and I appreciate you guys being here the last 4 years. It's been a fun ride.
Appreciate it,
man.
Thank you. All right, and that was the conclusion of that interview. Really thankful for the Grant Stoneman's time. Cut into his Thursday night football viewing. Chief already went home. So, yeah, now it's just me. I think we'll just go ahead and end that. I mean, Grant Stoneman, great stuff. Hopefully, we won't get in trouble for name dropping the referee. But other than that, thank you guys for joining today. We're going to keep rolling with more coverage here in local San Diego. Everything soccer, San Diego at San Diego. Thank you for joining us. Absolute dog as we're getting here. He wants to give Anthony Richardson and Stephenson. Yeah, no, we'll get to some fantasy football a little closer to next week. We had a lot to cover today. We did beat El Family Man in fantasy, so that's kind of it of today. We do have Colin Martin already ready. We already have Captain Charlie Adams ready for later in the week, so check that out. San Diego Futbol forever. Thank you. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now.